I'm Black Bright, broadcasting out the UK into your homes. Welcome to my channel, and this is Dark Shades Counselling. I call it counselling really because I couldn't find another title to call my channel. But it's not really counselling, it's more to do with addressing things that concern each and every one of us and trying to look at a different perspective. So, self esteem is something that affects every single one of us for whatever reason. You don't have to feel guilty because you have low self esteem. It's something that affects us through no fault of our own a lot of the time. Sometimes it's because of who we were raised with. Sometimes, especially with carers and parents who were either unattentive or who neglected us, who didn't see to our needs or who criticized us, all of those things add to our sense of self-esteem, whether it's high or low. If you have critical parents, you're going to have low self-esteem. If you have parents who are nurturing and encouraging, you're going to have high self-esteem. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So don't feel too disheartened if you feel as though you have low self-esteem. It's about how do we build up that low self-esteem so that we have a higher self-esteem. So once we recognize the reasons behind having a low self-esteem, which tend to be cumulative, it could be anything from, like I said, parents to subsequent relationships, how each of you manage those relationships, the partners you chose, what kind of history did they have, how that impacts on you, whether or not you was in a narcissistic relationship, how that's impacted on you. I mean, people who find themselves in narcissistic relationships, that can really put a dent in their self-esteem. So we have to kind of think about what can we do to turn things around. What have you been telling yourself since you've been growing up? Have you been overly critical? Have you been blaming yourself? Have you been guilty about your behavior and your choices? I tell you something, it is about starting over. It is about not chastising yourself, not being critical. It is about looking for the good in you and trying to remember when people say nice things about you. I remember because as a part of an appraisal process, we had to give this sheet around and people would send the sheet back and tell us what they thought of us. And I saw people said I was helpful. They said I was attentive. I was friendly. And I'm like, are they talking about me? I really did not see myself as that person. When people ask me to help them, I mumble and I groan and I'm telling them, listen, you better listen quickly. I'm only going to tell you once. I'm not this nice, I'm going to spend time with you and I'm going to do this. So as far as I was concerned, and because obviously I'm overcritical, I thought I wasn't a friendly person. I thought I was unhelpful. I didn't think I was helpful at all. So when you get feedback from people, when you listen, when people say something nice about you, you really have to take note on that because that is coming from the outside. That is how outside people see you, not how you see yourself. A lot of us, we don't see ourselves as we truly are. We have this kind of image of ourselves. And sometimes I wish that I could be a fly on the wall and watch myself and see myself from the outside looking in, because I really do not know how I'm perceived by other people. Sometimes I get comments on my videos and I'm like, wow, they think that? They see me as that? So sometimes it is about not chastising yourself, but recognizing that other people see in you what you don't see in yourself and documenting it, making a note of it. So I've gone through, I'm going to try and make this not too long because my videos tend to be long, especially these type of videos. Yes, sometimes if you've been through trauma and abuse, you can see yourself as damaged. You can feel as though nobody really wants to know you. They're doing you a favor if they're spending time with you. They don't really care about you. They're just with you because, and you can make up that because yourself. You don't kind of value yourself because you've been through a hard time, you've been through trauma, you've been through abuse, and because you feel nasty and dirty and you feel um, damaged, you somehow you think other people can see that in you, and so you think people don't really want to know you. But remember, that's your own little dirty secret. Nobody knows. You can rebuild your life. You don't have to carry that with you. It's not your fault whether you was abused, whether you was raped, whether whatever happened to you. You can rebuild and create yourself a new being. Every day you have an opportunity to be someone else. And they always say, in order to be successful in this life, you have to learn to play a part. Once you learn, look for somebody who you admire. Start, taking on their traits, becoming them. Because a lot of people who you see out there who you think are what, you admire, they've been through the mill as well. So it's about the persona you put on and how you begin to believe and take on that persona and discard all the nasty bits about yourself. We all have them. We all have those dark things in our past. And it's about not reinventing them and repeating them and going over them. Yes, some of them are harder to get rid of, but write them out. I always say that. Write it out, write it out, write out everything that you don't like about yourself and burn it. And then you recreate, you write something that you do want yourself to be and how you want to be and how you want to be perceived by others. And then you keep that and you look at that daily, put it on your wall so you can see it. I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm attentive, I'm caring, I'm good at my job, I'm attractive, I speak well, whatever you want to, however you want yourself to be, you write it down on a list, you put it somewhere where you see it each morning, and you enact those traits that you want to be, and they'll start becoming a part of who you are. It's not that you're pretending, you actually take on that person. Um, what else? Yeah, you can get into mood disorders such as depression, and it doesn't help with the media showing us beautiful people and us, especially if you've got low self-esteem. We're comparing ourselves to others. We don't have to compare ourselves to others. The only people we need to compete with is ourselves to become a better version of ourselves than the day before. That's all you need to do. Don't look at other people's version. Their version is all based on money. They're making money by making you dissatisfied, because if you're dissatisfied, you're going to go and get Botox, you're going to get that stuff in your lips, you're going to have stuff in your butt, you're going to change your hair, you're going to do all sorts. So remember, they're making money off of your sense of dissatisfaction. Don't let people exploit your depression or your sense of dissatisfaction. Be satisfied with who you are. Look at yourself and say, I'm good enough. I am enough. Okay, so yeah, and just remember the motives behind people who are telling you you're less than, you're too big, or you're too short, or your hair's not right. Just think about their motives. What are their motives? What do they look like? Sometimes these people who are criticizing you, have you seen what they look like, please? So just get a grip and kind of understand people's motives. It's not always about you. They want to make it, they want you to believe it's about you, but it's not. It's about their own insecurities. And like I said, we all have them and they play out in different ways. A lot of us, we're the targets for the issues of the perpetrator. Like I said, people have issues and they take it out on you and make you feel as though you're the one with the issues when they are. So be careful not to be taken in by what people say and what people do. Always question, why did she say that? Why did he say that? Why is he being so critical of me? Why is he not being nice to me? Ask yourself those questions and you'll find that those people have got a deep sense of insecurity themselves. And they come off with this all bullshit and big-headed and bossy, and they've got the lowest of self-esteems. I've got to get out of here soon. So how does low self-esteem affect us? If you have low self-esteem, or lack of confidence. You may hide yourself away from social situations. You might find yourself going out. You're afraid to initiate a conversation. You're afraid to talk to somebody. Somebody has to talk to you first. In that way, you feel accepted because they want to talk to you. You don't want to talk to them just in case they reject you and you're not quite sure of their motives. But regardless, if you've got self-esteem, you're always going to be questioning people's motives. Okay? So start talking to people. Start interacting with people. Boost your self-esteem. You simply need to identify the negative beliefs you have about yourself and challenge them. If you've been saying, oh, I'm too fat, or I'm too, challenge them. Are you really too fat? Look for somebody who's fatter than you. No, you're not too fat. And if you want to change your size, you start working towards it. You set up a program, but don't criticize yourself about it. Write down positive things about yourself. I'm thoughtful. I'm a great cook. Whatever it is, you're good at something. Let's see what else we've got. And be kind to yourself. It's so important to be kind to yourself and surround yourself by people who are good for you. Not necessarily good to you, but they're good for you. They encourage you. They build you up. And learn to be assertive. Don't always say yes. Don't be a people pleaser. If you don't want to do it, say no. You don't have to say it in a blunt way. You can say it whichever way you want. But the answer is no. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I haven't got the time. And for the most part, depending on how you say no, it does not upset relationships. Give yourself a challenge. We all feel nervous or afraid to do things at times, but people with healthy self-esteem do not let these feelings stop them from trying out new things. So take a step forward. If it's about talking to somebody, do that. Identify somebody who you don't know and decide that you're going to speak. You can even start with smiling at people. Well, you can't smile to these days because you've got a mask on. But smile with your eyes. It still works. Set a goal such as starting a social occasion or a social event instead of waiting for someone to say something to you. Achieving your goals will help increase your self-esteem. Experiencing trauma doesn't mean you have to give into it. It can delay success, but it doesn't prevent it. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.